A little bit of a different look right here. You don't usually see things from this angle. You see the giant mess behind me. What we'll talk about here is maintaining your table saw top. Coming up. I'm Roger, welcome to the shop. What we'll talk about here is maintaining the top of your table saw, and it's rare you'll see this cleaned off this much. But what I had to do was someone left a can, beer can, and it wasn't me because mine's always in a koozie. They left it on my saw right here. I didn't see it. And of course, everything's waxed here. I always make sure I have good coats of wax on, but if it sits there for a long time, it penetrates that wax, and it made a rust ring, and I needed to get that cleaned off. So, okay, how do you do that? This cast iron, random orbital sander, started out with 400. Right here, this is used now. And I decided, well, if I'm going to do this spot, I'm just going to do the whole table. I mean, I haven't done it in a long time. This is all MDF back here, and it has several coats of polyurethane on it, and then it has several coats of wax on it. And even though I do put cardboard on top of this when I paint or glue or whatever to protect the top, sometimes stuff gets through. And what's nice about having that wax surface is glue and paint don't stick to it. You can just pop it off. But you got to keep it waxed. And I haven't done this in several months, and this gets a lot of use. So I figured it was high time to do it. So I did not sand this back here. I just went over lightly with a Scotch-Brite pad to pop off any little glue spatters, the little paint spatters, that kind of thing. Got that all cleaned up. Same thing with the router lift plate here. Just hit a little bit with Scotch-Brite. There was a little bit of paint overspray on it, but since that is always waxed, it comes right off. Okay, so getting back to the cast iron and the steel part over where the rust was, started out here with the 400 on the Rapid. Hope it's not Rapid. Rapid. No, not Rapid. Random orbital sander, and then went to an 800. This is an 800 grit piece here. No lubrication on it, no oil, no water or anything. These are not wet or dry discs anyway. And they made it just absolutely glass smooth. So what I've got on here now is a coat of Johnson Paste Wax. And I'll wait for this to dry. I've got a fan blowing on it, as you can see here. And I'll let this dry for 20 or 30 minutes, and then I will take my polisher to it, or, yeah, I'm not that ambitious to hand do it. I'll take my polisher to it, polish it, then I'll put another coat of wax on. I'll let that dry. So a good haze, even beyond the haze. Take the buffer back to it and polish it. And I'll be good to go for another couple months. Something I also did since I was doing this, and the joiner is right here, I did the joiner too. Although there was no rust or nasties or anything on the table, but I just went over real lightly with Scotch-Brite a little bit, cleaned it all off, made sure it was good and clean, put a coat of paste wax on it. Little shop tip, little quick one, how to maintain your tabletop and what to do if one of your buddies leaves a can of beer on your saw and makes a rust ring. Another thing I learned too is one day I was in a hurry. I had a couple of treated 2x4s, you know, the pressure treated ones that come out and they're always wet when you pick them up and weigh a ton. I just real quick stuck them in here, laid them on top of the table saw. There wasn't any cardboard around there, just laid them right on the table saw. Well, guess what it did to that MDF? Because MDF, it's a nice, great flat surface, but by golly, you don't want to get it wet. And that moisture from that penetrated through that wax overnight, and I had this nice little lump on my table. So what I did was I stripped the wax off. This was about a year ago. Stripped the wax off with a piece of Scotch-Brite, put a fan on it, let it set to see what it was going to do after it dried. Once it dried, I started hitting it with paper on the random orbital sander, not the Rapid one, the random one. And starting with 220, went back and forth, until I had everything level again, then went down to 400, then to 800. Had to recoat it with polyurethane a couple times and re-wax it, and that was right through here. And as you can't even tell now, but needless to say, I was a little mad at myself for doing something that stupid. Something to think about if you got an MDF top. Like I said, it's a nice, great flat surface. You can make it nice and slick. Do not get it wet. Keep it protected. So that's a little quick one, little tip on how to do this. I didn't shoot video of me sanding this. That'd be kind of pointless. And well, wax on, wax off. If you've seen The Karate Kid, I'll be out here with a buffer or by hand, one of the two. A little quick shop tip for you. How to maintain top of your table saw, what to do when somebody does something stupid, even if it's yourself. If you got anything out of this, appreciate getting a thumbs up. Always helps the channel. Otherwise, I'm Roger in the shop. Alternate view of the mess. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.